Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Michael Patrick Buckley, back on the Hungry People podcast. Let's get it rolling, baby. It would be sick to have a cool intro. Should probably look into that, right? I mean, this is what, episode 61, and I'm still doing the same intro. I'm getting with hoodie Berbers today. Got the hood up. I don't know. I'm locked in, baby. I'm locked in. When the hood's up, you know you're locked in. Um, Guys, on last week's episode, what was it? The minimal, the minimal stuff, right? Getting it in with a busy lifestyle. What do you think? You like that or no? You know, there's a lot of hardcore people out there who are like, go to the gym, get to the gym, go work out, do this, do that. I don't know. Maybe I just have more empathy than them. Maybe I'm just like on a different level than they are, tier. I'm not saying like one's higher than the other, but I just like I just kind of like get it. I'm sure they do too, but uh it's funny, the more I talk about exercise, the more I'm just seeing it online where people are like, exercise for these benefits, for that benefits, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, you know. But I've just seen like a ton of people create disorders around exercise and hurt themselves around exercise and go too hard and all this kind of shit. You know, get sick because I exercise. It's kind of like just balance it. I don't know. People hate balance, right? People hate when you say, "Oh, it's all." People say, "Oh, it's all about balance." I mean, I don't know. It may or may not be, but um, I guess like what it comes down to is like if you want it, go get it. You know, put the time, make the time, get after it. So today, though, we're gonna talk about eating, or who's we, I'm gonna talk about eating in the morning. Should you eat in the morning? It's a great question to ask. And it's going to depend on the person, obviously. It's going to depend on your goals. And that sucks, right? It sucks when people say that. You know, you don't want to keep hearing that shit. Oh, it depends on your goals. Depends on your goals. It like, it sucks. And it's like, it's also true. It's also true. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to speak on some experiences in my own life and some stuff that I've dealt with and I've learned about eating in the morning and whatnot. It's interesting. It's really interesting. And it's good to experiment with yourself and it's good to try stuff out and see what works and see how you feel and all this stuff, right? And it'd be nice too to like go by the science, you know? That'd be cool. Get some scientific papers in there, see what works best. And I think for like weight loss, in regards to eating in the morning, I don't think there's like a difference. I think if your calories are equated, whether you eat your calories all in one meal in the evening, or if you do it throughout the day, or if you eat all in the morning, or whatever, um, I feel and from what I've seen from people talking about it, is that it doesn't really matter for weight loss, like what time of day you eat, as long as calories are equated for. But I don't know. People want to promote stuff, and they want to like pretend it's like the biggest cure all, this and that type shit, type John, you know. So, anyways, let's rock and roll. So I I did intermittent fasting hardcore with a lot of dry fasting, like every day for a year and a half, pretty much. Crazy. Back in my raw vegan days. You know, you think that you're healing, you think that you're helping yourself out doing that when I just made everything worse. But it's good though. It's good to go through that experience and to learn and to try it out for yourself. You need that. Like I have that for myself that I can speak on it. You know, do you have that for yourself? Do you have that experience that you can say that you did X, Y, and Z, and now you can talk about it, and now you can come on the Hungry Real podcast, and we can do an episode together and talk about it. What's up? So yeah, pretty much every day for like a year and a half. Dry fasting too, which how dumb can you be? I feel like at least if I was doing water fasting, it'd be better, right? Like if I was doing intermittent fasting, 8 hours eating, 60 minutes fasting, like I feel like I would have got a much bigger benefit if at least I was drinking water. I feel like I have sort of been kind of doing something similar to that recently, and I've gotten like decent results. Just because I honestly, I just go so back and forth with like what to do in the morning, like what I like, should I eat, should I not eat, should I drink, should I not drink? I usually always have water though upon waking. Maybe not upon wake. I don't like wake up and like just sprint my water because I'm like usually not really that thirsty, but I still drink water in the morning. Um, but yeah, it's just like the whole listening to your body stuff. You know, what does your body want? What does your body like? What's it telling you? And I feel like I don't necessarily believe that. I mean, I do and I don't, and I'm gonna have to do a separate episode on that and really talk about that. Um, but B, I think it's obviously good to do that. Like for example, the other day I got up, I just wanted to have juice in the morning, but like my body was like, I want fucking figs right now. Like, give me figs, 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 figs. I was like, all right, cuz I'll give you figs. What's up? And I had like dried figs. I love dried figs. Oh, there's like I can't believe that I like didn't have them for like a year and a half, 2 years. They're so good. They're so sweet. I'm not kidding. They taste like jelly donuts. They taste like strawberry jam. They taste like French toast sticks. They taste like blueberry muffins. I mean, every single one, like there's just so much flavor and so much fucking love in them. It's so good. If you're not on the dry figs, go to Costco or just go anywhere. I'm sure they have figs in most places, but get on them, baby. Get on the dried figs. So yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, intermittent fasting, year and a half, right? Then I came off it. I started eating breakfast in the morning. That's when I started like carbing up like crazy. And I definitely you can even tell, like I'm looking at my body. I'm like, whoa, like I'm fat, kind of fat and chubby. You can see it in my face a little bit. But I actually, when I was doing that, the intermittent fasting, even when I was raw, I noticed I was getting this pain in like I think it was my left kidney. I don't know. It was like my left back, like left sort of middle back. I would get it after I eat. So like I'd eat a salad, right? A raw vegan salad. You know, it's so healthy, raw vegan salad. And it's like avocado, you know, some raw vegetables, greens, whatever. I would like wasn't doing olives. Like when I was raw, I should have done olives. Like, what am I doing? Right? I at least get some olives. But they're not raw. Ooh. So I yeah, I had this like pain. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is happening? I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. And it would like hurt so bad. And then I feel like once I started eating breakfast in the morning and it kind of like sort of went away. And even recently, I haven't even felt it at all. I mean, that was like what, 2.5, 3 years ago, actually. And then like carve it up and stuff, I still would kind of feel it. And then yeah, it's just kind of like dissipated. It's not there anymore. I'll try to like think about it and like feel it out if I can feel it after a meal, but no, like honestly, once I started eating breakfast, it kind of went away. But yeah. So where was I? Carbon up, eating breakfast. I noticed this one day when I was intermittent fasting, I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm hungry. I'm doing it. I had like I threw some mandarin oranges in my mouth. I like went to work out and I was like, damn, fucking ripped. Like looking at myself in the mirror, I was like, gosh, I look good right now. It's like, can't believe I ate and I look that good. Like, insane. I just feel like there's a lot of shit that comes with like the intermittent fasting stuff. You know, you can create a lot of disorders around it. And I feel like I kind of have, and I feel like I get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm over it. Then I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. Then I'm like, oh, I'm over it, you know? But yeah, so I've been, I mean, I'll still have days where I like t- 3, 4, 5 times a year where I like intermittent fast. I won't eat anything or drink any juice until like the afternoon, but that like rarely happens. Usually I get up, I not like immediately, but uh drink water, and then whatever I'm like called to eating or drinking, I'll eat. So let's start getting into this stuff. And P, what the fuck, dude? You're having too much fun talking. So I think that like if you're gonna be active in the morning, right? So maybe you get up at 7 or 8 and you want to go to the gym right away. Like I just don't see a huge benefit in like getting up and eating a huge meal before that, right? It just wouldn't make it, like, logically speaking, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you gonna get up and eat a huge meal and be like, oh, like want to fall asleep after and then go work out? Now, I think it depends on just my conscientiousness. I think it depends on the night before and the day before too. Like, how much did you eat the day before? How late did you eat? Maybe if your last meal was at 3 o'clock and you did get up at 6 and had like a huge breakfast at 6:30 and then you worked out at 8, yeah, like I could totally see that. But if you're eating at like 9 p.m., or having a late dinner, and then you expect to get up in the morning and eat like a big meal before go working out, that just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, so I like doing my workouts, my runs in the morning. Like I don't want to get up and I don't want to eat like a huge meal and then go work out. Like I have enough energy. Even when I was dry fasting, like I had like a ton of energy. I feel like I have more now with eating or drinking something beforehand, right? I feel like everyone, they just get up. This is what most people do. They just get up, like at the gym in the morning, or when they go to the gym in the morning, get up, have coffee, they have their energy drink or pre-workout, and that's it. Like maybe some people have a banana or like have an apple or have like some fruit, which I think is good. I think that's great to do that. Eat the food with the coffee or with the energy drink. That'd be more ideal. I feel like your body would actually assimilate the the beverage better, in my opinion, at least. Um, but yeah, it'd be different if like they were getting up and like having juice, in my opinion, I think. But I feel like that's what people do, right? Um, so see, I'm kind of all over the place here. With the whole eat in the morning breakfast, but yeah, like the whole point of what I'm getting at right here is that if you're gonna work out in the morning, I personally do think that it's good to get something in your body before you go to the gym. So yes, should you eat in the morning? Should you eat in the morning? Yes, you should. or maybe not even necessarily eat, but like sometimes I just like drinking juice before working out. But like if I knock back a 32 ounce of pineapple juice or 32 ounces of grape juice, or um both are pasteurized for convenience. Or if I make, like, usually my go-to juices are celery apple, or cucumber apple, or celery apple cucumber, or celery apple romaine. So like the apple is the main, and then I like to get like the minerals and whatnot from like the celery and the romaine and some more vitamins and nutrients in that. But I get like the sugar from the apple, and the apple itself has benefits, plenty of benefits. But that alone, that right there is like, if I do 32 ounces, that could be, any of those juices. If I do like the more highly concentrated sugar juices, those are probably going to be higher calorie juices. If I do like a mixed 50-50 celery apple juice, right? Green and sugar juice for the most part, you're going to bring your calories down, but still, the juice could probably be 250, 300, maybe even 400 calorie juice. And I'm drinking that before going to the gym, right? And that's like a meal for some people. Like that many calories would be a meal. Like people, they want to like limit their calories so much. And I'm drinking that in the morning before going to the gym. So I still think even that right there is so beneficial. And it still gives my body time to assimilate the food from last night, and process it and help remove it from the system. So that actually is a great segue into some stuff with my life and I guess I've been it's all about my life recently or this whole podcast so far. But yeah, so like I've actually had asthma my whole life, you could say. Maybe, maybe not. It's been like honestly, since I went vegan, it's been a lot better. And matter of fact, when I was started doing like really hardcore carb, like during our style, I noticed like it was even better. And I think a lot of that honestly had to do with the biking. I think like the biking just helped with the blood flow and bringing the oxygen and just releasing stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, you actually like burn fat with like so much oxygen getting out. I don't know. There's like so much like little nuanced shit that I like want to know and I want to remember, and I just don't remember it. So I'm sorry. My apologies. I like that's why I like write everything down. I should go back and I can look. But yeah, and I was like running too, and my running was like amazing at that time, and it was in the summertime too, so like my breathing was a little better. Like usually once the winter comes, which like pretty much now, fall, getting in the winter, like it's a little harder to breathe. But yeah, like I had no issues at all with the breath. I mean, I was like floating, I was flying, I was lean, I'm still lean, but like my breath was just, and I think a big reason to that, not only because I was like doing carb heavy, but was because of the biking and the movement and the running and how active I was. Like, I do believe that played a huge role. Excuse me. So, yeah. Um, but I've had times like recently and over the past like 2 years or whatnot, where I'll get up and it'll be like harder for me to breathe. And I just think that that's digestion. That's not getting rid of the waste. And maybe I am eating too much at that certain point, or maybe I am eating too late and I should be eating my meals earlier in the day. I think I think that does have a lot to do with it. Sometimes like my schedule just doesn't align with it all. And it's just like I just gotta live my life. And if that happens, like that's just the consequence of what happens. But like if I could get my meals in earlier, I definitely think like that'd be more beneficial for sure. Um, just to help with, everything moving through the body and eliminating it through the body. Uh, but yeah, so I mean, like, I really haven't had that many issues though with my breath and asthma and whatnot. And even talking with Mike from Everyday Detox, um, like a lot of that could be like your intestines are like so congested with stuff and you may not even realize it. It's like pushing up against the lungs. And he even said that like a lot of people, their asthma or their asthma goes away and their breathing gets better, when they do colonics and whatnot. And oh my God, if I could do a colonic tomorrow, I would go do it. Like, no doubt. I don't want to like do it on my own. Well, I wouldn't do a colonic on my own, but like an enema or something. But I just noticed so many benefits. And I talked about it on my episode, my NYC experience. So I can link it in the podcast if you're interested. But yeah, I talk about it on there. So definitely worth it. But yeah, so that's why like when I get up in the morning and if I feel that way and I feel like, wow, like I feel like I still kind of have stuff in my stomach, I feel like I'm not like I'm still digesting, but it's still kind of like maybe in there and lingering around. That's why like in my head, my first thought is like, oh, like why would I eat? Like why would I want to put more food in? Like I should just like drinking a juice would be more beneficial in my mind to do that. Right. So, but at the same time, it's like, is it the best? Is that what I should be doing? And who knows? I just go back and forth with it. Like today, I had some pineapple juice, but I made oatmeal in the morning, which like I don't usually do. But I was like, you know what? Fucking, I'm doing oatmeal. I feel great right now. I feel awesome. And it's gonna be lunch coming up here soon. I may do a little run. But yeah, no, I actually like I feel better. And even like I just think of like the whole John Rose theories and stuff and whatnot about like cleaning out in the body. And he's like, oh yeah, like the reason why most people like poop is because like they eat and they like have to eat to keep pushing everything through the system and stuff. And I don't know. I've noticed times when like my asthma or like my breathing like hasn't been the best, and I actually would eat like actual food and like it would go away. It's like super weird, you know, like these thoughts, these theories, the experiments that I've had. But I've actually, to answer my own question, though, I've noticed that getting something in me in the morning though has been beneficial for that. So should you eat in the morning? Should I eat in the morning? I would say yes. I think if anything, you know, in what people would also 100% most likely agree is that you're better off eating early instead of eating late, right? So you're better off getting a majority of your calories in the morning, maybe not in the morning, but like earlier in the day, and then eating less in the day, less as the day goes on, right? So which is like kind of opposite of what I usually do. um but it just has to like it has to align with your life, it has to align with your flow, it has to make sense with what you're doing, with what you're eating. um but yeah, and they talk about like insulin sensitivity too. Like they say, you know, they like a lot of people, like people who have follow online, like so like mastering diabetes, they say that like you're more insulin sensitive in the morning. So get up, and like when you get up in the morning and you eat, like your insulin's gonna work better, and you actually should process that food much better in the morning. So like you would think that, okay, if that's the case, right, I should get my calories in earlier in the day. Like that'd be more ideal, right? Um, Once again, it comes back to like eating a huge meal before going to work out, like in the morning, isn't may not be the best for you. That's just like my conscientious thinking around it all. You know, there's just like so much that has to align. Um, but yeah, and then they also say that like you're more insulin resistance in the evening, or you're more insulin resistant in the evening. So like to have like a huge meal in the evening, it's gonna be harder to digest, and your body may not utilize the nutrition as best, right? It's like, and it's funny. It's like I'm answering my own questions, answering my own issues right now, right? Ideally, it'd be best to maybe not necessarily eat like crazy amounts in the morning before I go to the gym or not, but like do it after, come back after, and have a bigger meal after. But definitely still get something in the morning, and then like try to not eat like a huge meal before going to bed. It's just like it's so hard sometimes though. Like it really isn't. And I feel like for some people, you know, that like 3 to 6 o'clock window, 3 to even 7 o'clock window is like a time to be really active, you know. So you have like I feel like the windows are kind of, you know, you have like your morning people, like your early risers. And then I think a great time is like late morning. That's like ideal. And then I think another great time to be active is like 3 to 6. Like that's like, I feel like that time right there, 3 to 7, those times right there are the times when people are going to be like the most active. You know, they're just like getting off work. Then they go to their men's soccer league, or they just got off work. All right, now time for a run, you know, time for a 2 hour bike ride. Now time to go get a Peloton, time to get a workout in. Like that's like prime time for most people. Um, so it it's kind of like you want to make sure that you get enough calories before then. You know, like it's once again, it's like you don't want to eat like a huge meal at 2 o'clock, then go for a run at 3 o'clock. Just doesn't make any sense to me, you know? So that's why, like, I think sometimes for me, it may be harder for me to get all my calories in before, you know, before being active in the evening. And then I want to like kind of shove it in late, not late, but like 7, 8 o'clock. And it just, I guess it just is what it is. But I have noticed like decent results doing that, you know? So, but then it just comes back to like the whole cycle, you know? So I guess like ideally for me, if I do something like that, it's like good to, you know, get up, have something light in the morning, but definitely get something in me. Um, whether it's juice or whether it's eating something. Matter of fact, I honestly would like to do more oatmeal in the morning, but I still have like that idea in my mind of like, oh, well, it's not as cleansing, and you want to eat like cleansing foods in the morning. You want to eat like juicy fruits, and you want to eat drink juice in the morning and help like clean out from the day before and stuff. And I don't know, like I still believe that. I don't know. I still think like that makes a good case, like that theory, that way of eating. And then doing more like the oats in the afternoon or evening, right? Because they're more heavier foods. And that's another thing too, is that like you don't want to feel heavy in the morning, right? Don't you want to feel like light and loose? You know? And I still like I'll go back and forth with it. Like even today, I'm like, oh, I wonder like how heavy I'm gonna feel after eating this. I had pineapple juice, I had the oatmeal, and like I felt like light and loose. I still felt it. I felt good. So yeah, and it's funny because I actually feel like I look leaner eating sometimes in the morning than not eating. Like it just, I don't know. Maybe it's like the metabolism. Maybe it's like I'm giving my body stuff and everything is pushing through and getting through and it's all working out. But I feel like I've noticed way more benefits of eating in the morning, getting something in me in the morning than doing it like later in the day, right? And like intermittent fasting, like at least getting something in my body. So yeah. I said a lot there. A lot of personal stuff too, which actually I got to take the hoodie off. It's kind of hot actually. Getting kind of freaky in here. But yeah, I mean, there's just like people out there, they say stuff. I sent a tweet over. Maybe I'll read it to you. I sent a tweet over to Colin. So Colin, I had him on the podcast before. Really, really smart guy, really intelligent guy. He's really into like the repeat stuff. He's not vegan. But I just always appreciate his opinion and stuff and what he has to say. And I sent him over a tweet. I'm just gonna read the tweet to you. So it says it's from some guy who has like 92.8 thousand followers on Instagram or Twitter, which is like it's a lot. And it's kind of like, oh, you base your information off how many the following people have, right? So oh my gosh, like that guy has a lot of followers. Like maybe he knows what he's talking about. So like, do we trust him? But really, you gotta trust yourself. Yeah, listen to yourself. So he says everybody knows 70% of Americans are overweight, but 90% are over fat, meaning too much fat and not enough lean mass. Whether you're skinny fat or simply overweight, use the 7 principles in this thread to shred body fat and increase muscle. So he talks about time restricted eating. Several studies show that eating all food within a 6 to 10 hour window can have significant benefits. Even more impressive is you get these benefits without changing any of the foods you're eating, just the window you eat within. And I think that's true. But once again, I think it's like super tough and you got to like make sure that everything's in place and, like you don't want to eat a huge meal right before like you're going to go be active, right? So you got to make sure that you plan it out and it's just all being conscientious and make sure you write everything down and you're planning and stuff. Then he says, I recommend trying this for 2 weeks to give your body time to adjust. And this is like this one, these next two here, these next two tweets are really like why I'm telling you this. So he says, I recommend trying this for 2 weeks to give your body time to adjust. It can be 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, I love that he says this because he's like for eating in the morning. He's for eating something in the morning. And that's like, I think a lot of people, they like do like, oh, dude, 12 to 8, but I feel like what's more ideal is to eat in the morning. So should you eat in the morning? Yes. I would say yes. It's definitely good to do that. And then don't like try to not eat as late at night. But once again, it can be tough. It can be hard. Life happens, shit happens, right? You want to go out with your friends, you're not eating dinner until 8 o'clock sometimes. Like, it is what it is, so you could just see, even with something like that, it's like when I go out and I enjoy a meal, it's like I want to eat. Now, I don't want to say like, oh, I want to stuff my face, but like I want to enjoy as much as possible at that meal. So like I feel like I will like quote unquote save calories. And I like try not to like eat as much before then, so that like at that point in time, I can eat as much as I want at that meal and enjoy myself and enjoy my surroundings and enjoy what's going on, So it's just planning. It's just being conscientious of what you're doing. And I do believe that calories play a role there, or how much you're getting at least. So, but it's good, like just seeing something like this. And then he says the most common way to do this is by skipping breakfast, 1, and 2, drinking black coffee. Caffeine is an appetite suppressant, meaning you'll feel less hungry when it's in your system. And why black coffee? 1 cup contains 2 calories on average and doesn't break your fast. He talks about caffeine boosting your immune or your metabolism. And then by skipping breakfast and drinking black coffee, you make it easier to take in fewer calories while burning more. So, he says, he still says to like eat in the morning though, right? So skip breakfast. Well, it's like, what if you're getting up at 8:30 and you're gonna eat at 9? Like, you're not gonna skip breakfast if you're going based off what he's saying here, right? So it's almost kind of like it's like kind of sort of confusing. But actually, I asked Colin for his thoughts. I should do a podcast just on this tweet alone. Like, that's kind of the kind of stuff I should be doing here. But yeah, once again, like, people are just drinking coffee before going to the gym and working out. It's like, like, I already know what like Colin's gonna say in his answer, because he's gonna say, "Oh, raises cortisol, raises adrenaline, get your body sugar, so you have glucose and you have fuel for yourself, you're not just like eating yourself alive and trying your body's like creating its own fuel." So yeah, good stuff. I love talking about this stuff. Like, I legit love it. Like, I freaking love it. So I guess to conclude my thoughts here, it's going to depend on the person, going to depend on what they're doing, depend on how active they are in the morning. I do think that giving your body some sugar in the morning is good. It's good for the glucose. It's good for your metabolism, to kickstart your metabolism. You could say, you could argue. Some people may agree, some people may not agree. But it's just good to give your body something in the morning, even before going to the gym or whatever. That's why, like, if I know that I'm not going to be as active in the morning, I will focus on having a bigger meal in the morning and waiting and doing like something lighter for lunch. Right. That's like what I would do in baseball. Like, I get up, we'd have games 1 and 3 o'clock. I'd be like, all right, well, I'm getting up. I eat like a huge meal. And then for lunch, I'd have like a sandwich and like a piece of fruit. And I would pretty much just like snack, at the ballpark. And then we don't get done till 5, 6, sometimes 7 o'clock. And then I would eat after. And I actually got pretty good results doing that. I should probably do that more. But yeah, so I think a lot of it depends on where you're going to be active, like what part of the day you're going to be active, and social events. If you're going to be out and you want to eat more later, whatever. But I do just think getting some stuff in you in the morning, it's good for your body. Don't be scared of it. Have fun with it, experiment, try some stuff out, see how you feel. Obviously, I have a more vegan approach here. And I'm more pulled towards eating like more fruit in the morning, more juice in the morning, but I'm like kind of slowly maybe getting out of that a little bit. But yeah, so guys, that's going to be all for today. I really hope you enjoyed this. Guys, would love for you to, send this video to your friends, repost it on the internet, whatever. Give us a comment, or give me a comment. Like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and let's keep flowing, baby. Let's keep doing this thing. I love discussion. I love talking on here. I want to keep this up, and I want to keep bringing the heat to you guys. So Let's stay balling. Let's stay up. Let's be great. Let's keep it 100, baby. Actually, I can't end like that. I gotta end like this. Stay up, be great. Always keep it 100.